Good morning. I am Chris Colley. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Rochester Hills, Michigan, and I am super glad to be here with you this morning. We are leaving today for vacation, and I needed to get this video done. So I decided I am going to do it here and share it with everybody. I do a once a month club called the Creativity Club, and it is a subscription club. We make 8 cards each month, and you get a half a pack of DSP, a pack of accessories, and a spool of thread, along with kits to make 8 cards, 2 each of 4 different designs. Good morning, Cindy. I'm glad you're here with me. I'm hoping that this second start is better. I started this once and then got ready to stamp and realized I didn't have my ink pads, and so it's kind of been a morning already, but we're going to get through this. I'm just going to share with you what our Creativity Club is like. And so this month we're focusing on the Cheerful Daisies. Creativity Club is $30 a month plus $9 if you need it shipped to you. And this month we are doing the Cheerful Daisies. So you will get a tutorial which shares with you all of the supplies you're going to need for the 4 cards, what's included in your kit, and then a photo of the card along with written directions. You also get a pack of cardstock with cut pieces. So this is my sample pack, but yours will be packed inside envelopes. So these are all the pieces for your first card, the pieces for your second card. So you just pick up the cardstock, and that's all the pieces that you'll need to make that card. And you can see all of the cutting is done for your cardstock. These pieces are going to be used to stamp on, and then your die cutting is also done. There are no stamped images sent with cards. Sending stamped images is against Stampin' Up! Policy, and so I do not do that, but I do die cut your pieces for you. And that way it's easy also to substitute any stamp set that you have if you don't have the Cheerful Daisies set. And if you want, you can add that onto your club order, and I will send it to you. So for this month, you got in your kit the ribbon combo pack, which has it's a sheer kind of sparkly ribbon, and it has that silver thread in it. It's so gorgeous. And it comes in Afternoon Azure, Lemon Lolly, and Bubble Bath. And then you also got a pack of, I think it's a 3-pack of Tinsel gems. And they are in Lost Lagoon, Bubble Bath, and Misty Moonlight. So those are really pretty. They have a little bit of tinsel on the inside of them. And again, we are going to be using the Cheerful Daisies Designer Series paper and the stamp set, which has the coordinating dies. This is a stamp set that has 15 stamps to it. So it is a pretty substantial bundle. And it is a 2-step stamping. So you have the outline and then the filler kind of for the inside. And then it also has die cuts that will die cut your stamped images. And then you have this one, which doesn't have a stamped image to go with it, but it layers with these other inside parts of your dies. It's really a cool die. And of course there's one here that coordinates with the sentiments in this stamp set. So that's a pretty good selling point also. I always love a die that will cut out some words, some sentiments. Okay, so for this first card, we're going to start with a piece of Bubble Bath cardstock that's cut 8.5 by 5.5, and we'd scored the long side at 4 1/4 So I'm just going to fold it and burnish it on that score line. And then I'm going to trim the paper, my designer series paper, and it is going to be 5.5 by 4 1/4. So it's going to cover the whole side, the whole front of my card. So I'm going to bring it in, and I know that I want it to go vertically. So I'm going to cut that side at 4 1/4 by 5.5. So I'm just going to mark my cardstock here with my cutting blade at 5.5, and I can see 5.5 right here on my cutting blade, so I know that I'm going to cut right at the 5.5 mark. And then I'm just going to turn it and cut it at 5.5. I don't know about you guys, but if you checked out the online exclusives today, they have been updated, and one of the things that is on the updated list is scoring blades. So we can now buy scoring blade refills for our paper trimmer. How exciting is that? I love that idea. Okay, so let's get our paper here, and I'm going to put a ribbon around the center of my paper that's going to be bubble bath. So I'm just going to cut my ribbon and I'm going to adhere it on the back. And I am going to just use my regular Stampin' Seal. And I'm going to go ahead and put it all the way around my designer series paper, because that is going to, I'm going to adhere it all flat to the front of my cardstock. So I'm just going to add a little bit more adhesive right on top of that ribbon, because I don't want that ribbon to kind of wiggle out from underneath there. And then this is just going to go right on top of my card. There we go. Okay, and then I am going to make a bow. And you guys that know me know I like to soften my ribbon by running it across the top of my scissors. And that's just going to make it a little bit softer, which makes it a little bit easier to work with. I did my nails in a really bright, glittery blue for 4th of July. And it's not my usual color, but I think it will work. And I am going to be doing a Christmas in July event, which is going to consist of 4 pre-recorded videos that I will post and share with you on the every Friday morning from now through the end of the month. So every Friday you'll get to see a Christmas card. And these are Christmas cards that were made using the stamp sets in the current catalog. So not the online exclusives that are coming out, or the mini catalog that's coming out. These are pre-recorded, and they did, sorry about that reach there, that was kind of, I have them all set and ready to go. And they are actually going to be cards that were used in our first Christmas club. Okay, so my bow's going to go right there, and I'm just going to go ahead and add that with a glue dot. So we did have our first Christmas club in June, actually, so that we could get 6 of them in by the end of November. So I'm excited about sharing those with you. And then I have cut a circle, a little bit of sticky on there, and I'm sure everything I do will get stuck in there. So let's get rid of that. So I have used the largest circle die in the Stylish Shapes die set and cut it out this circle. And I'm going to use the kind of half a daisy stamp and the stamens and the leaves and the stem. Okay, so that's where we're going to go with this. And I'm going to start off by stamping my sentiment over here, and I'm going to do that in Moody Mauve, and I am starting off with that first so I know where I can stamp my flower and not have it interfere with my words. So I'm just going to go in here, and then I'm going to come in with my Moody Mauve, and I'm going to stamp my outline first. Okay, so this is going to be the outline of my flower, and that's going to be the darkest. And for those of you that don't work with two-step stamps, they come with an outside and an inside. So that's our outside, and then you can do the inside in a different color. It would be really pretty with bubble bath, but I am going to do it in the same color, and that's the inside, which is the fuller part, and I'm just going to stamp off with it. And then I'm going to put it right inside those lines. Now, a lot of people will stamp the inside first and then the outside. It's just easier for me to line up when I have that outside part there. So that's why I do it with my outside first, because it's easier for me to line up when I have that strong outline. So I'm going to use crumb cake, and I'm just going to add the center of my flower. And I think it's going to go just like this. Okay, and then I am going to use some garden green, and I'm going to stamp my stem and some leaves. So if you're new to Stampin' Up, our stamp pads come like this, so that when their lid is closed, they are being stored upside down so the ink pad will stay wet. To open them, they have this little groove in there, and you just put your thumb in that groove and lift up. So it opens kind of like a compact, like your makeup compact, and then you just slide it in. So I'm going to stamp my stem. Now you can do your stem in brown, but I'm doing mine in garden green. And then I'm going to do my leaves, and I'm just going to put 2 of them on here. There we go. So that was really easy, right? Now I'm going to bring in some foam adhesive strip, and I'm going to attach that to the back of my circle. And I know you're wondering, what about that big open space you have there? Well, I'm going to add some gems in there, because everybody got a package of gems, and gems are lovely. I love to accessorize with them. I'm just going to put this right over top of my ribbon. There we go, and let's get those tinsel gems back out. I'm going to use the Lemon Lolly. These come in 2 sizes, so you have a small and a large. I'm going to do, wow, I just took the back right off there and stuck it on my white piece of paper. Do this and put my gem right back on top of there. There we go. And I'm going to do a little one right next to it, and then I'm going to pop another little one down here. Okay? So there's our first card. And I always try and keep these kind of simple so that they're not really too basic, but you don't have a lot of detail, fun folds, all those kinds of things to work out. So this isn't like for a really advanced stamper, but just a gal who likes to stamp. Okay, so this next one, we're going to start up with our thick, basic white cardstock. And then we have a deckled rectangle die that's cut for you. And I am just all over the place this morning. Let's see. Here are our words. So this is actually that little die that is in the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. And this is the, I believe, second largest. Oh, it's the second largest deckled rectangle die. And thick cardstock, which is basic white. It is 5.5 by 8.5, and I'm going to score on the 8.5 side at 4 1/4 and fold and burnish that. And then I'm going to take a piece of this designer series paper, and I want to be able to use these flowers on it. So I want to cut those flowers first, and those are going to be 4.5 by 3. So I'm going to cut 3 here. I'm going to go up to, again, my 4.5 inch mark on my little blade here. And I have put some sticky strip tape in there so that is where I can see those marks better. So then I'm going to flip it around and go to 4.5 and cut that down to my 3 inch mark. Okay, so that's going to be 3 inches by 4.5 inches. Okay, and what we're essentially going to do is layer that excuse me, right onto our deckled rectangle. So I'm going to cut just a little bit more off the top. I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference, but it looks like I want it to be really centered in there. So I took about another 1/8 of an inch off. So it's going to layer perfectly in there like that. And then I am going to take and cut the back of this paper so we can layer it right onto it. Isn't that a gorgeous combination? Oh, I love it. So I want my piece of paper to be 4 inches by 5.25 inches. So I'm going to come in to 5.25 and cut there. I'm going to flip it and go to 5.25 and cut that down to 4. Okay, so that's going to be my background piece. And you can always cut a little piece of this to put inside your card. I try and always measure my cardstock like that so I don't have a whole lot of waste, especially with my designer series paper. I absolutely love my designer series paper, and I tend to be a little bit of a hoarder at times with it. Okay, so that's going to kind of be our layering, and then I'm going to bring in some Afternoon Azure ink, and I'm going to stamp my words. This one's going to be a wishing you, oops, the daisy, I'm sorry, let's see, wishing you the brightest birthday, which is kind of pretty, and all these bright little sunflowers on here, right? Afternoon Azure is quickly becoming one of my favorite blues. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle here. Let's get my ink pad out of the way. There we go. Oh, I got a little to the left, but I'll watch that next time. And then I'm going to take, I actually added a piece of copper ribbon to everybody's pack because I love the way the copper looks with this card. So what I'm going to do is start by adhering my designer series paper. I'm just going to put a little stamp and seal in the corners and right in the middle there. You really don't need to do the whole, cover the whole piece of designer series paper in adhesive. You just need kind of the corners in the middle. There we go. And then I'm also going to add my stitched rectangle die cut piece of basic white. I'm going to adhere that right in the middle. And then I'm going to add a piece of this copper ribbon. This ribbon is so amazing. I love it that it just, you can kind of pull it and it will fray really easily. And I am just going to, I love altering my ribbons that way. I am just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back towards the bottom third of my card. And I'm just putting it there because I'm going to raise the rest of it up on dimensionals. Okay, so you're going to go down about to your third mark like that, about a third of your card, and put it on there. And then I'm going to bring in, again, some more of my foam adhesive strips. And you could color your lemon lolly ribbon with your copper clay blends, and it would look really nice on here too. I wanted kind of a little bit more of a rustic look than that for this card. Okay, and I'm actually going to add this piece right here so it will kind of add a little more support for that ribbon that's going to be under there. There we go. I use these foam adhesive strips so much. You guys that watch me know, I just love them. They give so much support, plus anything that you put up on dimensionals, I think gives your card a little extra oomph, you know, so it has a little bit more texture, a little bit more interest to it. We have such a great stamp club. I'm going to miss not zooming with you guys this month, but next month we get to zoom again. I'm just going to set that right in the middle there. And I'm going to come to my words, and I'm going to put some foam adhesive strips. You know what, actually I think that regular dimensionals will be okay here. So I'm going to put some dimensionals right at the top. And the bottom. So I just did 3 regular dimensionals there. Regular old Stampin' Dimensionals. And this is going to go right in the middle. Just like that. And I did get it a little bit close over here, so I am going to add one of my little gems right down here so that it looks kind of almost intentional that it was not centered there. Okay, and then I'm just going to throw, you know what, I think I'm going to add 3 of them right at the bottom here. Ooh, not that big one though. That big one is too big for there. But I think I could go with 3 small ones. I don't know. It's these little decisions that really get me, right? I'm gonna do small ones on here. Okay. So you have that one there, and I'll do one over here. And then we can throw one in. Let's do a big one in the center of this flower. Ew, yuck. Don't like that. Here we go. I have a really hard time sometimes deciding where to put my little, I think I'm going to put it right over there. Yeah, no. I think I may just do them in all 4 corners. Okay, I'm having a hard time deciding this morning, but this is where I'm going to go with it. okay? So I'm going to put it right in inside these little circles. Well, they're little, like, half circles. Okay, so there we go. Quick and easy, right? But it has kind of some oomph to it. This paper is really definitely the workhorse because it is so gorgeous that you don't want to add too much and cover it up. You just kind of want to let that designer series paper shine through. Good morning, Monica and Pam. Thanks for being here, you guys. It's good to see you. I'm going to chat with Monica next week after my vacation. I'm excited to catch up. Okay, so that is our second card. And then the third card we're going to do is this one. And we're going to use one of my new favorite in colors. And that is the Pebbled Path. Okay, so we're going to start off, get some trash in there, with a Pebbled Path piece of cardstock that is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. The 8.5 inch side is scored at 4 1/4. We're going to fold and burnish on that score line. I also have a piece of Lemon Lolly cardstock, and it is 4 inches by 1.5 inch, and I embossed it using the crosshatch embossing folder, which is part of the Basics embossing folder trio, which is an online exclusive. And those online exclusives have been updated today, you guys, and there's some great additions. One of them is the designer series paper with the sleigh ride, and the other one that I think might run out quickly is the truck bundle. So it's called Trucking Along. So if you haven't checked those out, you may want to do it rather quickly. We don't know when those items are going to sell out, but they may sell out very quickly. So I also have a piece of basic white cardstock that is just a scrap piece, and I cut this great little scalloped edge using the Zany Zoo dies. So what I'm going to do, I just took a quick minute to make sure that these are both the same width, okay? And I'm going to add Stampin' Seal all the way around my embossed piece of cardstock because I want to get it in all those little nooks and crannies. Then I'm just going to add that to the bottom of my card. And then I'm going to cut my cardstock. I actually want a piece of DSP that is 4 inches by 3 7/8 inch. Okay, and I know I want my 4 inches going this way. So I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to go up to my 3 7/8 inch mark on my embossing, or I'm sorry, on my paper trimmer. And then I'm just going to flip it and come into my 4 inch mark. Oops, not with that scoring blade. I'm not going to be able to cut it, am I? Oh, did I cut that the wrong way? Let me see. Didn't cut it. Nope, that looks like it's right. Okay. And I just missed a little 1/16 of an inch cut. So, and again, it's easy to come in from here and just cut a 1/2 inch. I will go ahead and cut 3/4 of an inch. So a 4, right up to, I'm going to go a little bit, there we go. And I'm going to cut that again to my 2 inch mark, which is going to be, so this is just an easy, quick way. I'm going to bring in my snips and cut this side, and you can do this on your paper trimmer too, but just right at 2 inches, I'm just going to hand trim that. So this just adds a little extra piece for the inside of our card. So we're just going to put that right down at the bottom on the inside of our card. And I'm going to actually add a piece of white later, so I'm just going to put that in there for now. Okay, going to make sure that this is the same width as this, which it is. Okay, so I'm going to add this. This is my little scallop border that I cut with the Zany Zoo dies. And I'm going to add that right on top of my lemon lolly piece. Make sure it's straight on there. And then I'm going to take a piece of lemon lolly ribbon, and I'm going to add it around my cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to add it about here. And I'm just going to kind of measure it right off the top there. And I'm going to do kind of a faux bow. So I'm just going to take my ribbon and tie a little knot in it at this side. Now when I do classes, a lot of times I'll do this for them so that they can just add the ribbon. Most people know how to tie their ribbon like that, so it's something I can easily do for them, and they can spend their time focusing on a new technique or coloring something on their cards. Sometimes I just like to do what I call the easy stuff for them. And if you have, you want to put your ribbons a different spot, your little knot a different spot, just put your thumb and your forefinger over it and pull, and you can easily move it onto the ribbon. It'll go back and forth. Okay? So I'm going to add some adhesive to both edges of my designer series paper. And I'm going to do it about, again, a third of the way down. And actually I'm going to go ahead and go all the way around because I am going to do this flat on my card. And I have no more adhesive. Let's grab a new one. So you guys get to see how that works. You just pop out your old one, and your new one is kind of sealed in here in this plastic bag. You can save these bags to send ribbon in. I do a lot of mailing, so I send ribbon or treats inside these bags. It's a good thing to put die cut pieces in. So there's a lot of packaging on it, so don't waste it. These two holes go right onto these two coordinating pegs, and your top goes right back on. So it's as simple as that to change out your adhesive. And again, we're going all four around, and I'm going to make sure this is the side I want stuck down. And I'm going to put that in, and again, I'm just going to flip it over and add a little bit of extra adhesive holding my ribbon down so it doesn't kind of sneak out. And I'm going to start by going down from the top to make sure I get that kind of distance that I want. And there we go. I'm going to straighten up my bow a little. And I actually, when I did my tutorial for this one, I used my three-way punch on here. I'm not going to do it on this one. We're going to attach this one just like we did the other one. But you can take this little piece here and use your punch to punch this straight line in there and there. And then you'll get this kind of a look with it. And I did that, obviously, on my sample, but forgot to do it before I set my, before I attached my ribbon. So we're just going to do it the same way we did on the last one. And it's fitting that it's for this card because it says Oops-a-daisy. So, oops, I forgot to do that. And we're going to do the Pebble Path ink for this one. And the Oops-a-daisy words. And I'm going to get those right in the middle this time. There we go. And again, I am going to put those up on my foam adhesive strips. So I'll put one at the bottom and one at the top. And that will be that one. Put that right back on there so we can use it again. And we're just, these do work like our regular Stampin' Dimensionals. So we're just going to pop the back off. It will be sticky. And we'll go right over our ribbon. And again, this paper, you guys, just really, truly is the workhorse. It gets it all done and just is gorgeous. And you can see it goes with a lot of different colors too. So I'm going to add some of the green little gems. Just going to plop them around. Where did it go? That one will show up on my fingers later, I'm sure. Okay, third time's a charm with that one, apparently. And we'll just do two together there. Okay, so that is our third card. Isn't it pretty? I love this. I can't even decide which piece of designer series paper I like the best. I like them all too much, right? Okay, so this one has lots of pieces, but don't get freaked out, okay? It's going to be well worth it. We're going to start off with our garden green, and it is 8.5 by 5.5. We scored the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. We're going to fold and furnish on our score line. And then this card is going to be a Z fold. So I'm going to take this piece and just fold it back on itself. And that's going to give you a kind of Z look to it. I have tried scoring this at 2 1/8, which is the middle of it, but it just kind of never works out right. So I just score once and then fold it back. Okay? And then we have a piece of early espresso cardstock that is 5.5 by 4. I'm sorry, 5 1/4 by 4. And this is going to be the inside of our card. So I'm going to add that inside. And then I have a piece of white cardstock. And my white cardstock is 5 inches by 2 inches. So it's going to layer right there. And this is where you're going to write your sentiment. And I'm going to add it just like that. And then I have 2 more pieces of espresso, and they are 5 1/4 by 2. Okay, no, they are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. And we're going to add one to each side. And I'm going to be careful to line it up with that piece of early espresso. So it's kind of a smooth line all the way across there. Okay, and then that one did not go on very straight. There we go, much straighter. Okay, and then I have cut some stitched rectangles, and these come from the Nested Shapes dies. If you guys have not checked those out, they are new to this annual catalog, and they are amazing. Like I said, I love dies that layer with each other and their shapes so that you can put sentiments in them. And I'm going to stamp Your Friendship Means Everything to Me for this one. And I'm going to stamp it kind of in this corner and up because I'm going to add a little flower down there. All right. And then you're going to grab some lemon lolly. And I have... excuse me, I got a little catch in my throat this morning. I have just a piece of scrap white paper here, and I am going to take the flower inside and outside, and I'm going to take some leaves. Let me put my leaves on green paper in the, for the club. Here it is. So everybody got a little extra piece of paper like this, and then this is your flower piece of paper. So when you get your club packet, you're going to get these scrap pieces that you can stamp on also, because not everybody has that green cardstock, and so we just kind of give you everything you need in that little kit. So we're going to stamp 2 leaves on this green cardstock, and then on our piece of white cardstock, again, I'm going to put this away so I don't make my flower green. I'm going to start with my lemon lolly outside, okay? So that's going to be the outside part of my flower, and then I'm going to stamp off for the inside. And I'm just going to line that up. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to set these aside. And they do have coordinating dies with them. I actually am going to need my crumb cake to put the middle part of the flower in there. Here we go. And it's going to go like this. There. Okay. And we're going to bring in our little Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. And we're going to cut these out. Remember I said they have coordinating dies with them. So I'm going to grab my flower die and my leaf die. And when we say coordinating, that means that some of the dies are going to be able to cut the images perfectly. So this die is just going to fit perfectly around my stamped image. We just have to figure out where that perfectly is. And sometimes if I mark them, it helps, but sometimes you just need to play with it. And you really just need to find a point where you have like 2 small little ones there. See those little, they're kind of in from everybody else. I think that's the bottom. And they're really close together. So that's going to be the point that I line up. Okay. And once I get it all lined up, then I'm just going to take a little piece of Post-it tape. You can use a regular Post-it note if you want, and tape that on there. And that's going to help my die not to move when we put it through there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my leaf. I am going to line that up with my die and put a piece of Post-it tape on it. Now, the other thing that you want to be sure you're doing is to kind of give this like an E look. Okay, so when I put my trays together, it has that kind of E where it comes out, goes in, and comes out. That's going to help it to go through our machine nice and smooth. Okay? Well, this one just doesn't want to stay in there. My pads are kind of, my plates, I guess, are kind of warped. So, and then as I go through, I'm just putting my hand on the top to kind of help it go through nice and smooth, okay? I'm gonna pop these off. I have one more leaf left to cut. So I'm going to peel that tape off, pop this leaf out, and put it on top of this one. And we're just going to do that again. Okay. So I hope you guys have some fun plans for the weekend. We actually are going to be going up north. My sister-in-law turns 50 tomorrow, so we're going to have a little party for her and spend some time on the lake. I usually am there for the 4th, but I didn't make it this year on the 4th, so we're going this weekend instead. I have a long weekend planned, and we're kind of excited about it. We got some boat meals, and fireworks are on Friday, or I'm sorry, tomorrow night, or Saturday night. So that will be fun. We usually go out on the boat and watch from the lake, and that's always a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. Throw that back in my scrap basket. I'm going to actually put my dies on here before I go any further because I am the queen of losing a die. So I'm going to put them both in there and not worry about that. Okay, so our pieces are coming together nicely, but next we're going to need some designer series paper. Okay, so these are going to be lots of smaller cuts, and we're going to do, they're all going to be 5 inches. So I'm going to cut 5 inches off here, and then we'll worry about spacing them out. I think I have 6 inches or close to it. So I'm going to cut my 5, and then I'm going to do the one for the inside is going to be, let me just check my measurements here real quick. And you will get all of the measurements. I don't cut your designer series paper when you're in club because that way you can use the whatever pieces you want to use. You don't have to necessarily use the ones I did. So for DSP, I'm going to cut one at 5 by 2. That's going to be the one that goes on the inside of our card. And then I'm going to cut 2 at 1 5/8. And those are going to go on top of the espresso pieces on the side of our card. Okay? Here we go. And let's start assembling. I'm going to lay these pieces out so that they kind of will match up when you're folding your card, okay? So they're going to kind of look like this. All right? So this is our big piece, and it's going to go on the inside. There's that script piece I was saving. It just wants to hang around this morning. And we're going to put this on the inside, and it's going to overlap our other piece of basic white cardstock just by like maybe a 1/16 of an inch. So when you fold it, that's what you're going to see, and then you open it and you have that nice piece of white paper there to write on. And I actually think I'm going to do it like this, so that when it's closed, you can kind of match up your papers like that. So I'm going to put this one on the inside first, because we're going to add some ribbon on the outside. So this one's going to go on the inside. And again, I'm just going to try and match it up with that white, so it has kind of like a smooth edge all the way there. And this one, I'm going to use that Lemon Lolly ribbon again. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did on our last card. So I'm going to cut my ribbon, and then I'm going to cut another piece. And I'm just going to tie that other piece in a knot. So we have kind of that faux ribbon. Because you really just have this kind of less than 2-inch space there, I don't want to put a bow there. So I'm just going to do the kind of faux knot. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put my adhesive all the way around it. I'm going to add that on the top. And again, I'm not going to worry about the placement of my knot because I know I'm going to be able to move it around. That piece went on there like really crooked. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in. That's a lot of ribbon to hide behind the back, so I'm just going to trim that off a little bit. And again, put some more ribbon on there to hold that. And I'm going to add that to this side. And just going to pull my little knot tight. Wow, I didn't want to do that. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to add just a little glue dot under there so it's not flipping around all over. Just put a little glue dot under my knot. And let's build this. I'm going to take my basic white die cut and add it on top of my garden green. And then I am going to put a little bit of tape on that outside edge of my flower. And I'm going to add my leaves there. Just like that. And I'm going to pop that up with a little dimensional piece here. I'm just going to go like that across the back of it. So you have that kind of look to it. I love it. And then I'm going to add another piece to the back left side of my words. Okay, so they're going to go like right in here. I might put them right there. So it looks like that, and you can still see all of that beautiful ribbon. And then I'm going to add, ooh, that might be too much, about half of this. And remember, you don't want to put anything on that right side or you are going to glue your card closed. And we don't want to do that. So I'm going to put this right on the edge of my little Z fold. Peel off the back. Peel off the back of this one. Put it right on top. that. And then I'm going to come in and trim this ribbon. And trim this side just a little. I'll have to go back and do this with my ribbon scissors. These scissors are not the best for ribbon. You need some really, really sharp scissors. Wow. There we go. Okay. And then I think I'm going to use some of the green dots on here. Get them stuck to each other. And I'm just going to kind of put them random on here. There we go. And you can use your take your pick tool for this if you wanted to. I just have my scissors out, so that's what I'm using. And we'll put one down here. Okay, so that's your fourth card. And that is what the Creativity Club looks like. You'll make 2 of each of these beautiful cards. So you have this one with your Z fold. And then you have this one with that really cute little scalloped border from the Zany Zoo set. And then we have this one with the deckled rectangle dies and the little die cut right from the Cheerful Daisies stamp set. And then we have this beautiful Moody Mauve with the stylish shapes dies. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me pop through here and see if anybody has any questions. If you need to have any information, hi Carol, hi Marielle. If you have any questions at all about Club, or this pack of paper that's gorgeous, or the sweater bundle, or even online exclusives or the bonus days, just to drop me a comment and I will answer all your questions today. Thanks. Bye-bye.